Hello everyone, welcome back to Technical Tuesday. Now today's tutorial is more on my reaction on application for solid builder gel. I have never worked with this product before. I've worked with similar products, but I've never worked with the specific kind. So I want to see how this how well of an adhesion this gets, how solid it feels on the nail. Now, I already did a reaction to my first impression of the product itself on it. It does work on getting solid, so I was, doing impressions on how this product, if it's actually like it says it is, if it's more like a similar product that's used in here, full cover tips. And it does get solid, it does get hard, and it does act like an actual builder gel, but it's more like a putty. So I am curious as to if it's easier to apply. Go ahead and get my silicone tools out. If it's easier to apply, or if it's more challenging for application than, say, Polygel or another similar product, like a thicker builder gel. So I am curious about this, and for that reason today we're going to go ahead and do some extensions with it. I had had another whoops and broke the reinforcement layer on my pinky, so I needed to put something on anyways. So even though I had just done my mani and shortened an extension that I broke not that long ago, we're back at it again. So we're going to go ahead and use the method that most people would, which is dual forms. I have trouble getting ones that fit, so the thumbs I may have to do a little differently because that's where my trouble is. I am going to try and make this one work, and I'm only going to do one hand on camera because application can take a while, and just seeing one hand is all you guys really would need, theoretically. So, yeah, finding tips that dual forms that work for me in my nail bed shape and size and curvature is virtually impossible. So as much as I want to use these, I find myself not wanting to use these at the same time because I know how my nails are. My nails are very flat, and in the case of my thumbs, very wide. They're very wide. So finding a dual form that works is difficult. I do have very, very flat nail beds, and it makes life challenging. To say the least, it makes life challenging. Okay, guys? Like, I don't like applying extensions with this kind of method because it just doesn't work well with my kind of nails. It ends up being super thick generally and just weird. Alright guys, I'm gonna use tips as much as I hate to say it. I don't like using those. Okay, so maybe I'll just do it this way. I haven't used these in a long time, and they help with extensions. Is this one? Yes, this is one. So you basically make an extended tip and then apply the rest. So maybe this will work better for what we're doing here. And question of the day, can I even remove this with... Okay, so right off the bat, my house is a little colder. We don't keep our heat very high. So this is going to be challenging. Okay, so if the product is colder, getting it out is going to be more challenging altogether. Let's see. I need to grab... Okay, so I'm going to grab this lovely little metal tool to remove this from the pot because it does not want to come out at all. It is... Ooh, it's stringy. Okay. So... Oh my goodness. Silicone tools not needed, just use a metal cuticle pusher. But it does eventually stick to the metal cuticle pusher, which is not what I'm after here. So I've already prepped my nails. They have been buffed, they have been dehydrated, primed, and base coated. So literally all I need to do is apply the product, and hopefully this product will adhere nicely. Hopefully we won't have, it's the same brand base gel in there, so hopefully, you know, we won't have any interference. And the instructions do say to use base gel, so that's part of why I'm doing so, as well as the fact that I am weary of it not wanting to stick nicely. And all of that, like how well does it file? It is a file off product, so how well does it file? How well does it shape? How well does it hold up to day-to-day abuse? Is its final form softer like a polygel? Is its final form, you know, going to hold up to my kids and my housework? And, you know, am I going to have major lifting problems? Like, some products really do cause, you know, are more difficult to keep from having lifting. And, you know, that's something else. Is application really going to be that much easier? That's another thing. Is it really going to be worth the money spent? So we're going to go ahead and gently apply it to the nail area. I'm trying to smooth this as much as possible so that it's a nice smooth extension. That is more extension than what I really wanted too, which is kind of, I don't know, I'll fix that. I don't think I want it quite that long, but we'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe it will feel good enough to do that. So we're gonna pop that in the lamp for 60 seconds. And I haven't used these particular forms in a really long time either, because with polygel it's still too soft to do nicely, because once the polygel warms up to your body heat, it just kind of like oozes, and it's like a thicker hard gel. The viscosity just doesn't really feel good with this kind of tip, this kind of dual form. And it saddens me because, like, I like to sculpt my nails and use, you know, extensions in that form. All right, so this actually feels pretty solid, and it came off nicely. Okay, so just a light file on the underside, and this would be a beautiful nail tip extension. I like that. Okay, I like that, guys. That worked out rather well. Okay, so this may be easier for me, guys. We may have found one of my new favorite products. even if it is a file off product. We may have found one of my new favorite products. Because it's supposed to be like less mess, easier to work with than your normal nail extension products that is available to the public. And I can see that for sure being a potential here. It is a little weird working with a silicone tool and not a brush. Don't get me wrong. I am used to working with silicone tools for sculpting and things like that, but just not on my nails. I'm used to, well, unless I'm making like a charm on an already sculpted nail. But like I'm used to doing it for sculpting clay and things like that for actual art projects, not nail extensions. So with this being said, like this feels kind of weird, but it is applying nicely, patting it into place and into the base gel. I'm having an easier time like not flooding the living daylights out of my cuticles and my eponychium, I guess you'd say, you know, that particular area. So, but if I had to complain about anything, if freehand sculpting this feels weird because you can't get it smooth like you can the poly gel, because you're not using a brush. Like, okay. So, some practice and some thought. I think I have this would be good for lazy girl method, I'll be honest. That's what this would be good for, which I do that all the time too, so I guess it doesn't matter. I have a use for this product. Regardless, guys, I do have a use for this product. I don't feel like this is for everyone. I'll be honest. I don't feel like this is for everyone, guys. It is a good product though. I can feel that much. Like, this is solid feeling on this thumb. It feels very much so attached where I did cure some on. So we'll see. I kind of like the idea of like using a poly gel for the rest of it and using that just to make the tip. As weird as that may sound, like that kind of is where I'm at with this. Like, I feel like it would make a good extension and then use poly gel for sculpting the rest. I may have to try that. I may try that on the other hand, actually. Ooh. Fair warning. Do not apply thickly. Ooh, man. You get the burn. Okay, so my first impression of this is if you're not using a full dual form, you're going to do a lot of filing. There's no way to make it smooth like you do with a brush. Like you pat it smooth and you don't have all these bumps and things like that. This stuff, you can't get it smooth. Like, it's not like when you're working with a slip solution. And it does not say that you need a slip solution, and doesn't say what would happen if you try to use a slip solution. So I'm afraid to do so. Because it's not meant to be used like that. So, I don't know. Well, we'll see. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of filing involved, though. But this stuff feels pretty solid. I'm still... I don't like dual forms, guys. I really don't. But this feels exceptionally solid. Like it doesn't feel like it's about to break. Like, let's be honest, guys. This does not, it feels pretty hard. It does not feel, I will make this a little thicker because it is my thumbnail, and I am notorious for breaking my thumbnails. And that is because of my son's car seat. And I know there's a tool, there's many different brands of it actually, of tools that I can buy to put on my keychain to undo the buckle button on my son's car seat. I know this. I'm aware of its existence, and I just never buy it. Like, it just, I'm not going to remember to use it. When I get in a hurry, it's not something that's going to get into my routine. There's no way. So I refuse to buy it because I know I will never be able to incorporate it into my routine, and it actually be a useful tool for me. It's not going to happen. As much as I would like it to be, I know my brain well enough to know that it would not work for me. And, you know, for those who it does work for, kudos to you. I'm glad it does, but, like, I just make my nails thick. I just make my nails thick. It is what it is. Like, I'd rather just make mine thicker so that way they, at least my thumbnails to be specific, to make them thicker and so they can withstand the car seat and just not have certain shapes. Not wear certain nail shapes. Like, I don't wear stilettos, I don't wear almond, I don't wear rounded, oval. Generally, I don't wear those shapes because they clash with the car seat. They don't work well with the car seat, so I just don't wear them. When he gets a little older and we replace, which we've already talked about replacing his car seat, when we replace it with one that doesn't require so much direct pressure to unbuckle, much like his brother's, where I can use the pad of my thumb instead of having to go directly down in order to unbuckle it, because he's got a square button that is so, like, indented in instead of, like, flush with the surface, that I have to, like, really shove my finger in there to unbuckle it. So the one that my 7-year-old uses, which is also a 4-point harness booster, instead of a car seat, it's a 4-point harness booster. His is flush, and I can press down on his without any problems involved. So it's not an issue. It's not an issue. And wow, this stuff is, I'm not sure if I love it or hate it. This stuff is interesting. So yeah, no, I just rather have, okay, so it was just like that as it cured. So, you know, I would rather have my nails a little thicker and just deal with them being thicker than try to force my brain to remember something I know it's not going to. That's just how it is. Okay, so that's one nail. Let's make that a little thicker. Just cure that. Move these off to the side. I moved my hand out of there. I'm sorry. It's making all sorts of noise. Oh my goodness. I doubt I'm going to get this hand done in 20 minutes. As I'm looking at my alarm. Challenge accepted, right? Challenge accepted. So I guess we will just do this one nail for this video for my first impression, and then I will do an update on how well they hold up. I really am curious as to, like, this stuff is solid. Ooh. This feels really good, actually. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and file. I actually had to use the coarser side to file this down. This is actually very solid, guys. I'm surprised by the level of solidness I've got here. Get it side walls, flush with my nail growth. Okay, so if I was to put on a regular tip and then sculpt this on there, man, it would be no different from using polygel. Actually, I feel like this would be more durable than polygel because this feels almost the same hardness level as acrylic, which is kind of scary because even hard gel doesn't feel this solid. Generally, I mean, it can, but like generally it doesn't. It's for filing purposes, like it's generally a lot softer feeling. So this is, and for future reference, I don't normally file without my handy dandy dust collector. So for any of you going, oh my god, there's dust, you're breathing this in. I know, I normally use a dust collector, but that makes a lot of noise, and all that. And I'm only filing one nail, guys. Like, even this is, damn. This is hard to file, guys. We're gonna crack out the e-file for a moment here. This is actually hard to file. Too low of a speed, guys. Alright, so we're going to go in. And we're going to file around. Try to smooth this out. And I ended up making this thicker than I intended, too. So this stuff is very, very solid. Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting this kind of level of difficulty filing. Wow. So my first impression of this is that it is quite durable, guys, and wow. I am used to only acrylic being this challenging to file. Hard gel and soft gel, soft gels, hard gels, poly gels, like all of them have been much easier to file. Like, much easier to file. Where this is more challenge than I am accustomed to filing a gel product. Now, don't get me wrong, I love acrylic. I just don't use it much because of my husband's breathing respiratory reactions to it. So, with that being said, like, gels are generally what I use. Take some of this bulk down because I made it thicker than I intended. So, application, I guess this would be a personal preference. We'll see how well this holds up to the test of time. You know, this is... Oh my goodness. It's definitely not what I expected. I was not expecting to be quite so solid. That's crazy. I mean, I expected solidness. It's supposed to be an extension product, but I wasn't expecting this much. That is really surprising. So, yeah, well, this is definitely... It's definitely solid, guys. Like, it is solid. They mean it. They truly mean it. They said it's going to be solid gel. It's a solid gel. It is solid. They mean it, guys. They most definitely mean it when they say it. Shaping this has been quite the challenge. I'm sorry, guys. Did not mean to bump the camera. Oh, could you imagine doing a French manicure with this stuff? That would be one hell of a challenge. But maybe it would be easier to do a French with this. Who knows? I don't know. So, wow. Huh. Who would have guessed this would have been such a challenge? But I mean, that does look pretty good. It's that feels very solid. Like, this is don't think we're going to get much better than that, except filing the underside a little bit. To smooth the underside out. So, go in with the more bucking like side of the file. See how that goes. So, Now, if I was to apply gel polish over this, I would want to leave it at this particular roughness, but I'm not, I don't use gel polish very much anymore because A, I'm doing all this filming, and B, it's harder to change out, and I don't always have time to go in with a file to deal with it. Oh yeah. Alright, so I'm going to top coat this with a, I know it may seem weird, but I'm going to use base gel and not actual top coat gel, and the reason being is because I'm going to use regular polish over it, and oh my goodness, the amount of dust I'm getting off of here right now. And then I'm going to show you guys, and I think that'll be it for the actual filming, because like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time and I've got the youngest, and this camera does not have a pause feature either, so that's fun. But I don't have the money to get a super nice camera either, so I deal with what I've got to provide you guys with content. I make do with what I have. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, you know, it's one of those, you do what you have to get by. So this feels very solid though. Let's see here. There is a lip there that's gonna end up bugging the live and daylights on me, so I need to go in with a different bit and deal with that. I just noticed that, and that is going to drive me absolutely bonkers. I don't like that kind of lip over my natural nail. It drives me insane. So I need to go in with a different bit and file that down. There's a very specific kind of ledge lip that you sometimes get when you're using nail forms, and when you're using dual forms, things like that, and I have that kind of ledge and I don't like it. So we're going to go in, smooth things out here. So that doesn't drive me absolutely bonkers here in a little bit, because it will. Give it a few days and it will drive me bonkers. I don't like that ledge. There we go. So it's nice and cleaned out. So I would say if you have good nail shape for dual forms, this is definitely an easier method. I'm not 100% sold for it being an easier method for me. It probably would be if I did the method I was talking about where I do a half and half. I use the solid gel to do the extended tip with the other forms, and then went in with polygel for the rest of it. Another thing I could see it being easier for me is if I was doing the lazy girl method. I could see it being easier for that too. So there is definitely applications for this. I could definitely see it being really good for making charms, which is one of the things it's supposed to be used for, so we'll see. As far as extensions go, like I'm not sure if I'm sold on it or not, to be honest. It's I don't know. But I've been doing my nails for so long that like I don't know, like it just I feel like the other things would be easier. Acrylic's the easiest for me now, but if I was a beginner, I could kind of see how this would be more appealing. For beginners, it's not super sticky. It's not sticking to your tool. It's not curing as you're applying it. It's not flooding into your cuticles. I could see the appeal, especially if you do well with dual forms. Just dual forms don't like my nail shape. They just don't. At least not the ones that I've found. I've been hunting for some dual forms that fit the shape of my nail and the size of my nail, which is very hard to do because not only are my nails very flat, but they're also really wide. So I don't know. Let's wipe off the tacky layer. It does feel solid though, guys. It does. It feels solid. It feels stable. It feels like it's on there pretty good. So tell you what, I'll do this hand completely with the solid builder, and I will try the other method on the other hand where I use it as the extension and I put polygel for the rest, and see how it does. Try both. I don't like that it's got that line there from when... So I have a distinct line from where I used the tip dual form, and I tried to make sure the product got under the lip. So I will probably have to file that lip before adding more product. This is... I definitely like it for charms. I could definitely see making nail charms with this. I don't know. If this holds up and really like helps, especially when it comes to the infill, I'd be sold. But like the base application, if I'm not using a dual form, this feels very yikes. Like it feels yikes. Well, I'll be honest, guys, like it feels pretty yikes. Yeah, no, that's... I may go ahead and try using the dual forms on the other fingers. My thumb is the main one that has issues. But from what I'm seeing here, like it's not so bad. See how well it paints up. Oh, I need to get a better bit in there to file. But like it's not that bad. I don't feel like it's any easier for me personally, but I can see its appeal for those who are beginners, definitely. If you are new to putting extensions on, I could definitely see this product being... Cotton ball up there. I could definitely see this product being useful and a good learning tool. So if you don't have a gel allergy, this is definitely something to try. And there's my alarm saying it's time to go get my son from school. So I guess that's it. We'll just do the one nail. I will get back and do the rest on my own. It's a lot easier to do off camera anyways. But yeah, no, that's intriguing for sure. I'm undecided as far as how I feel about it. This is a brand I really like. So I have high hopes for it. And maybe I will be able to find some dual forms that will make my life a little easier sculpting with this and make it faster for me, and not, because that wasn't really any faster. Was it easier to apply? Yeah, I would say it was easier to apply. Was it easier to get shaped up and nice? No. That was probably just as rough as dealing with acrylic, and with acrylic, like, the main goal is to get it as smooth as possible before you even get to the filing phase to make it easier. So if I had dual forms that worked better, this would be easier. It would be faster, it would be easier, but I don't. And I have many different dual forms, and they just don't fit my nails right. So for those who have used this stuff before regularly, let me know what you think of it. I did have one person say that it's what they used before they developed an allergy to gel, which is unfortunate, and it does happen. But I'm curious to see other people's opinions on the matter. Like I said, this did seem to go really well for, like, applying, but I don't feel like it was any faster for me. Just simply because of having to shape. So for those who actually can use the dual forms and everything, let me know how it works out for you. Alright, well, I need to go get my son from school, so thank you all for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this video of me struggling to apply a nail with a new product, because it's new to me. Maybe I'll get the hang of it and it'll go faster. And I can protect what's left of my nails. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be where you're at. And until next time, bye.